Hi, I'm Anna, and welcome back to the D3 Audible Cheat Sheets, where we continue with Alsace. Alsace sits in northeastern France, tucked between the Vosges Mountains to the west and the Rhine Plain to the east. On a map, it looks cool, marginal, and risky. In reality, it is one of France's sunniest and driest wine regions, and everything about Alsace wine flows from that contradiction. Despite its northerly latitude, Alsace has a moderate continental climate, unusually dry by French standards, and this allows it to specialize in single variety aromatic white wines, overwhelmingly unoaked. Around 90% of production is white wine, and most wines are bottled as single grape varieties, something that already sets Alsace apart from most other French regions. And to understand why, we need to start with history. Alsace's wine culture reflects centuries of political change. Control of the region passed repeatedly between Germany and France, and that dual heritage is still visible in the wines today. The German influence shows in the importance of single variety wines, the focus on aromatic grapes like Riesling, Gewürztraminer, and Muscat, and an emphasis on clarity of grape expression. In the early 20th century, up to the Second World War, Alsace was largely a source of inexpensive wine, much of it grown on flatter land where yields were higher and quality lower. After Alsace returned to France in 1945, the region adopted the AOC system. Importantly, many of the historic hillside vineyards, known for quality in earlier centuries but neglected during the bulk wine era, were gradually replanted from the 1960s onwards. More recently, there has been a slight reduction in plantings for still wine alongside a growth in Cremant d'Alsace, reflecting both market demand and stylistic flexibility. Alsace's climate, as I said earlier, is continental with cold winters and warm sunny summers. The growing season is long, which is essential at this northerly latitude. The defining feature is the rain shadow effect of the Vosges Mountains. Westerly winds carry rain clouds, but much of that rain falls on the western side of the mountains. As a result, Alsace receives only around 600 mm of rainfall per year, less than half that of regions on the other side of the Vosges. This dryness reduces fungal disease pressure but introduces new challenges. Summer drought can be an issue. Irrigation is not permitted for AOC wines, and rainfall, although moderate overall, is spread unevenly throughout the year. The wettest month is typically August, while September and October, the key harvest months, are usually dry, ideal for ripening and harvesting healthy fruit. Alsace also benefits from high sunshine hours, critical for ripening grapes fully, the fawn wind, which raises temperatures and further reduces disease pressure, and a marked diurnal temperature range, especially at higher altitudes, which helps retain acidity. Alsace growers often describe their region as a mosaic of terroirs, and this is not marketing language, it's accurate. Vineyards stretch along the foothills of the Vosges, offering a wide range of altitudes, typically 200 to 250 meters, with some sites up to 450 meters. Varied aspects with the best vineyards facing south, southeast, or southwest, and highly diverse soil types. The best quality vineyards are usually on the hillsides, where soils are lower in fertility and well drained, encouraging slower vine growth and better fruit concentration. By contrast, vineyards on the Rhine plain sit on deeper, more fertile soils, which promote vigor and higher yields. These sites are better suited to high volume, inexpensive wines. Alsace's main grape varieties by planting are Riesling, Pinot Blanc or Auxerrois, Gewürztraminer, Pinot Gris. Riesling, Gewürztraminer, Pinot Gris, and Muscat are considered noble varieties. Only these are permitted for Grand Cru wines and for Vendange Tardive and Selection des Grands Nobles styles. Riesling is cold hardy and late budding, giving some protection against spring frost. It needs good sunlight exposure, good drainage, and a long growing season to ripen fully, all of which Alsace can provide. It has good disease resistance and can produce very good quality fruit at relatively high yields, sometimes around 70 hectoliter per hectare. Alsace Riesling is typically dry or effectively dry, medium to full bodied, medium alcohol, high acidity, with citrus, stone fruit, and a pronounced stony or steely character. Quality ranges from good to outstanding, with prices from mid price to premium. Gewürztraminer is early budding and early ripening, making it vulnerable to spring frost but able to avoid autumn rains. It accumulates sugar rapidly, so in Alsace it is picked late to ensure fully ripe skins and avoid harsh phenolics. It is vigorous but only moderately productive due to coolure. It is prone to several diseases including powdery mildew and grey rot. These wines are medium lemon in color, pronounced in aroma with lychee, rose, stone fruit, and spice, medium to high alcohol, medium to full body, low to medium acidity. They are made in styles ranging from dry to sweet. Pinot Blanc and Auxerrois. Pinot Blanc wines are typically low aromatic with apple and peach flavors, medium acidity, and medium alcohol. Quality is usually acceptable to good, and prices are inexpensive to mid priced. Auxerrois, which may be labeled as Pinot Blanc, is early ripening, low in acidity, and often used in blends or for Cremante Alsace. Pinot Gris is early budding and early ripening, susceptible to botrytis and downy mildew, and capable of accumulating very high sugar levels. Alsace Pinot Gris wines are full bodied, medium acidity, medium to high alcohol, with peach, apple, and sometimes honeyed smoky notes with age. Climate change and improved canopy management have encouraged earlier picking, supporting a shift towards drier styles at 12.5 to 13.5% ABV rather than richer off dry styles. Pinot Noir is the only black grape allowed for Alsace AOC wines. Historically thin and lean, quality has improved significantly due to climate warming and shared knowledge with Burgundy and Germany. Both unoaked and oaked styles are now produced. Silvana is declining but gaining a reputation for very good value, often from older wines. Muscat is grown in tiny amounts, prized for its aromatic purity and dry styles. AOC regulations require single or double GEO training. Fruit zones are trained higher at 1 to 1.2 meters to reduce frost risk and humidity. Canopies are tall, up to 1.9 meters to maximize sunlight interception. Row spacing is wider to avoid shading, and planting density typically ranges from 4,400 to 4,800 vines per hectare, with denser planting on slopes. Alsace has relatively low disease pressure due to its dry climate. Increasing organic adoption, around 35% of its vineyards are certified or in conversion, and a long harvest window from early September to late October. Grand Cru vineyards must be hand harvested, while flatter sites may be machine harvested, reducing production cost for inexpensive wines. Alsace winemaking is focused on preserving primary fruit. Most wines are fermented in inert vessels, stainless steel or large old oak, unoaked, fermented at cool temperatures for aromatic varieties, typically not subjected to malolactic conversion. Ambient yeast are common among quality focused producers. Wines are aged on fine lees without batonnage to retain freshness. And from the 2021 vintage, Alsace adopted EU sweetness labeling, addressing long standing confusion about residual sugar. That clarity matters enormously for consumers and also for the exam. So that concludes this first part on Alsace, and we'll continue with the next episode on appellation special categories and the wine business. I do hope this helps with your prep, and I'll see you then.